Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about intuition and how intuition helps you ground yourself in the present moment and how it helps feel safe in this world. I love talking about intuition in general because it's always this, for me, it's like a guide, this inner guide that nudges me into the best version of me. It nudges me into making choices that are more loving, more compassionate. And it's also the part that nudges me into becoming more courageous, more empowered, etc., etc. And feel safe, right? And I remember that, for a long time now, I've been really making my intuition become the first. Whatever I do in my life, I try to really base it on what my intuitive hits are. It's not always easy because there's so many fears that come up, limitations and fears, etc. So sometimes I think it's intuition, but it's not. But then I learn through that. But anyways, as I went along, and the more I listened to my intuition, the more I noticed that, number one, when intuition talks to you, it never tells you everything. Like it won't tell you a plan for the next year. If there's something in you that is planning out the next year, that is definitely not your intuition. It's your ego or whatever, but definitely not intuition. So I noticed that I already knew that intuition would give me like one information, and if I followed that information, then at the last moment the next information would come, right? So it would just tell me what was one step, what step to take. That's it. So for example, let's say that I intuitively realize that in this house, for example, the house that I'm living in, or the country I'm in, that I'm feeling that I should leave, right? That's my intuition talking to me. But that's the only information I get. Leave. That's it. I'm not going to be told where to go, how to go, no, nothing. It's going to be leave and silence, right? And so sometimes it really takes a lot of courage to listen to it, because you don't have much information and it feels very destabilizing, right? To just leave and you've no clue where to. But then it can be destabilizing, but as you do it, as I did it, more and more I felt more at ease with it. However, there was this moment where I realized that the more I listened to intuition, the more the future felt like this big unknown. Like before that, I had a certain idea of what my future was supposed to look like. But then when I started, listening to my intuition, the more I stepped into it, the more the future became a very big unknown. And it's almost like this huge void opened up in front of me. And I started doubting my intuition, and I started thinking that maybe there's something wrong with me, that I was doing it wrong. And at some point, I did some inner work. It didn't work because I thought, maybe there's something to correct. I tried to correct it. It didn't work. And at some point, I just asked myself, I just asked my intuition, right? I asked why this is happening. What is it? Is there something I have to do? I have to correct? I don't know. And when I did that, I just asked the question, I let it go, and then sometime after, I got the answer. And the answer came in this me being redirected back to my question, to the one that was questioning, if you wish. So when I went back and I remembered the way I asked the question, it came out of a feeling of unsafety, of fear. Because there was almost this feeling of, if I listen to my intuition, in that future out there, I will get this. I'll get a home, for example. In this case, it was about a home. I'll get a home and then I'll feel safe, right? And that wasn't happening. It was the more I wanted that, the more it wasn't happening. And then I realized that this was because I thought, it was this old programming where I thought that in that future, I have to have a home, and once I get there, then I'll be safe. But intuition doesn't do that. What it does is that it takes you out of the future and it anchors you in the present. And that's why it just gives you one step at a time, not more. Because it's about you completely living out the present moment, being anchored in the present moment and realizing that you are safe here. And once you realize that, then what happens is that you don't need that something in the future. You can choose it. You can have a preference where you go into the future and you have that home, but it's not going to come from that place of, oh my God, there's something missing in me and I need to get there and then I'll be fulfilled or I'll be full, right? But it's completely the opposite. It's like that's when I realized why this was happening. It was like the intuition was taking me really back and anchoring me in the moment, in the now, so that I don't dissipate my energy somewhere in the future because it's not needed. Like if I take every step now, step 1, step 2, then I go into the future and I'm safe because in step 1 I felt safe, in step 2 I felt safe, in step 3 I felt safe, if you know what I mean. And then only safety can come, right? At least more and more safety can come. I've never felt completely safe, but it's like the level of safety that I'm feeling, the level of trust in life that I'm feeling is getting higher and higher and higher. And sometimes you need to have that level of safety. No, let me say it another way. You need to feel that level of safety inside of you before you actually, that safety comes or manifests, let's say, in the outer world in the form of a home or whatever, right? So that was an amazing discovery for me, the discovering why, intuition just takes you one step at a time and not more. It's just telling you to completely live out the moment. And at some point, I guess it gets you to a place where there is completely no future, no past, and you're just completely living out the moment as it is. And every moment you realize that you're taken care of. Every moment, everything, every need you have is taken care of. All is fine, and you're just there to have the experiences that you're having, and that's it. So these are my ramblings about intuition, and I was just wondering whether do you listen to your intuition? How does it feel? And if you have any comments, any questions, let me know down below. Sure.